guys. Salam, salam. Crossing through Hills City. This was sad. Yeah, a lot of that sad. This Bull King was his sworn brother, and they were friends and some shit. Okay. Guess I use a plantain fan. Treasure trove.
To subdue the Bull King, the Jade Emperor issued an edict. Nerja with the incinerating wheels, the Gwai-slaying sword, and the coiling tether, and his father with the sealing pagoda and the revealing glass. Combining their strength, they mustered a host of immortals who fought the Bull King and narrowly defeated him. This one must be a high immortal from the court. Amid the trials of the 7 spiders and the many-eyed one, it was Bodhisattva Pilanpo who lent a hand. No aid from the court was given. But Wukong is ever heedless of rules. He might have sought higher places for help. Long ago, the many-legged one was subdued by Bodhisattva Pilanpo and locked on Purple Cloud Mountain. Only by a plea from the Celestial Court was he spared. The immortals dispatch minions to enact their will, while they remain serene, as if playing a game of chess. Pity those pawns. They know full well what they are, yet they cling to false hopes and even take pride in it. The posts of the court have stood unchanged, but the same seat might not always be held by the same immortal. So too the 7 spider Gwais. They boast an endless procession of generations. Even the sacred gourmand remains mundane if he clings to the ties of love. He was an admiral of the court, a pig in the mountains, and Bajia in the journey. Yet his nature remains unchanged. So be it. A guileless fool may know less sorrow. This rooster is Pilanpo's son, the Dawn Star he was called. Through him is forged the Weaver's Needle, the one that subdued the many-eyed master. More than that, he once crowed a giant she-scorpion to death. Indeed, he is a bane to all insects. Amid Wukong's rampage through the court, he toppled Lord Lao's pill furnace. A few bricks bearing remnant flames fell here and became the Flaming Mountains. Lord Lao blamed the furnace-tending boy for his negligence and banished him to become the keeper of this place. Before the journey, Wukong lived free and easy. He wandered the lands and befriended the mighty. He had 6 sworn brothers, the Bull King among them. The monkey and the bull both called themselves great sages. They were 2 of a kind. As for their parting of ways and hard-fought strife, those are tales for another time. That was Princess Fairfox of Mount Gile. Graced with great wealth, the princess revered the Bull King's immense power. She gladly wed him, despite the ill-suited match. The 2 shared some joyous days together, until the monk and his disciples came, and Pagia slew the princess. Stories tell that the 2 bore a daughter, though her fate is unknown.
Yeah, I'm really confused. They had a daughter, like what? I don't get it.
As the Bull King collapsed, he cast a glance behind, as if catching a glimpse of his deepest fear. The Red Boy coming to claim his life with the 5 elemental carts and the valiant 6. He wished this day would never come, yet also longed for its swift arrival.
I don't blame you, man. Shit's fucked up. Greed body. Eyes, ears. Divine safeguard. Yeah. Blind if it increases a hurricane. Listen, it was monitoring increases stamina recovery rate. Okay. Who was the last one? Huh. Red Boy, on his skin, talent may shine, eyes glaring bright, a mischievous sign. Samadhi fire forged, yet heart unrefined. The gate to Lingshan Mountain lies within the mind. For many years, Red Boy had been having the same nightmare in his childhood. It's not nightmare. In his childhood, he shared this nightmare with his mother. Mother, there were many people. They were all coming to kill me. My dear, once you fall asleep again, you'll forget all about it by tomorrow. And the boy was excited. But I am very powerful. I defeat amongst as tall as mountains, strange birds, and fire-breathing statues. I am not afraid of them at all. Oh, how brave you are, my dear. He continued. I dreamt that I grew up into an adult with long horns on my head and long spikes on my hands. I could kill a bunch of bad people at once, but there were too many of them. I couldn't kill them all. Later, some strange people I had never seen before came. They hung quietly in the sky, not coming down, just silently watching me from above. His mother pulled him into her arms. If that day ever comes, your father and I will go to the sky with you and kill them all. Will we die? Doesn't answer. I dreamt they killed me, and I turned into a red lotus flower. And mother, you picked this lotus flower, and I became your child again. He continued to chatter. Mother, if I die, will you be willing to give birth to me again? Don't you ever say this again. Okay. Sad. Yaksha King. Fangs bared, eyes like twin lanterns bright. In battle's clash he finds the light. Agile and brave, with skills so fine, yet lost and wondering, his face declined. The raging flames had reached the Golden Hall, and the sounds of battle outside were deafening. Though they were muffled within, the king, gravely wounded, sat amidst the wreckage, holding a recently deceased young boy in his arms. A figure stood behind the curtain, sighing, "Such devastation, don't you see? It's all because of you." The king remained silent. Whether Yaksha royal lineage continues or ends, it depends entirely on your decision today. The king couldn't help but glance around the Golden Hall, still able to see traces of his former glory. They say Yakshas are the most resolute, yet you, as your king, are hesitant and indecisive. The king gently stroked his son's face, and the body still warm. Stroked his son's face, the body still warm. He wished so dearly that the boy could see his vast and beautiful homeland he had never been to. If you have even a shred of desire, why not try my method? The untamable wish of your heart, I will take care of it for you. As a king, was he not even allowed to die on the battlefield? The king closed his eyes. Finally, he opened them and said openly, "Since there is no salvation, I will leave me and my son at your disposal." Splendid. It is not too late to understand it now. The figure clapped, and a white-clad Dallas emerged from behind. The Dallas approached the Yaksha king, bowed, then sat cross-legged on the ground. He extended his hands above the boy's head and began to chant softly. Before long, a small blood-red lotus flower emerged slowly from the boy's forehead, crystal clear and vibrant. The Dallas carefully plucked the lotus and placed it into a bowl he carried. The Yaksha king fixed his unblinking gaze intently at the lotus. The figure said, "This red lotus is the essence of your son's soul. To ensure it does not dissipate before successful reincarnation, we will need your life and the water from the river of childbearing." Yaksha king raised his arm, taking one last look at the red blood lotus. "I will do it myself." I don't get it, but okay. Ping Ping. Born to a fate of trials and woes, who pities the ebb and flow of those. Better to live in nature's embrace, freely to wander, freely to repose. After delivering her homework to her mother, Ping Ping went to the height of Ember. Her brother had asked her to meet him there, saying he had something important to discuss. When she arrived, she saw a red boy standing with his hands on his hips, directing, quick as fire and fast as wind, to burn bulgwise to flee as his way of training them. Amused at the scene, he laughed loudly and boisterously. "Brother," Ping Ping called softly. Ever since Red Boy returned from Guan Yin's tutelage, she felt he had changed. Every time she spoke to him, a subtle fear tugged at her heart. Upon seeing her arrival, Red Boy waved to halt the training and turned to her. "Ping Ping, let's engage in the game," he proposed. "You will run and I will chase you. Let's see if I can catch you before an instant stick burns out." In the past, Ping Ping would transform into a little fox, leaping around rocks and crevices, always having the upper hand. Yet this time, Red Boy shattered her hiding rocks and her hiding rocks from a single spear thrust, scorched her standing deadwood with a breath of fire, and flew over the cliff she jumped across as a red cloud. In less than half the time it takes for an instant stick to burn, Red Boy effortlessly caught her and sighed, "Mother's teachings are still too gentle." Seeing his sister's gloomy face, Red Boy took her to rest by the cliff in the Furnace Valley. To cheer her up, he twirled his fire point for her entertainment. Seeing his little sister clapped and cheering, Red Boy asked, "How do you think my skills compared to father's?" Ping Ping couldn't answer. She had never dared to make such a comparison. She took out the fire dates her mother had rewarded her and shared them with Red Boy. Changing the subject to talk about Andos in the mountains. Seeing this, Red Boy didn't press further and respond perfunctorily. Ping Ping cautiously said, "Brother, you and I have always been the closest. If you have something on your mind, you can tell me. It's not easy for our family to be reunited. I just want to live peacefully in these mountains, away from world strife." Gazing at the burning clouds, Red Boy said, "Sister, you should see more of the outside world. There's no such thing as living away from worldly strife. It's just self-deception of losers." Ping Ping wanted to ask him who he was competing with and why he had to compete. But before she could speak, she felt a blow to the back of her neck and fainted. She dead? Rakshasi. From dawn to dusk, toil's bitter strain. Day and night, home's burdens remain. Destiny shows no mercy. Merciful she became. Wise her household light, the hardest to sustain. Mount Lingshan, Vulture Peak before the Thunderclap Temple. Rakshasi clapped her entwined hands tightly, steadying her trembling body, striving to appear calm and serene. She had traveled to many places on this journey. Domains of the Yagua kings she befriended in the mortal realm. Abodes of gods she met in the celestial realm. The immortal islands on the sea, and even the underworld. She had visited them all. She also went to the Tushita Palace to seek advice from her master, yet the latter had only offered a heartfelt persuasion. "I ordered you to raise a child, but I did not ask you to be a true mother. Let the boy stir his trouble. As long as you and your husband stay out of it, you will be safe. Her master's words left her in despair. She knew that no protection would the Flaming Mountains receive. This was their destiny ordained. But she knew her son all too well. Reckless and wild, vengeful and unforgiving. After all the suffering he had endured over the years, unless he could vent his anger, the only way to resolve the siege of Flaming Mountain would be to break his spine. Damn. Thus she came here, for revenge. How to exact it, she had no idea. For her mind, a blank void. Lady Rakshashi, the master summons you inside. Ananda stood at the temple door, his voice as gentle as ever. She straightened her back, gripping the plantain fan towel in her hand, and the horse replied, "Thank you, Venerable." As she walked into the hall, flanked by the 8 great Vajras and 500 Arhats, she seemed to hear faint laughter, but all she saw in her peripheral vision were solemn and dignified figures. Reaching the base of the lotus throne, she knelt with her head held high, clutching the fan tightly. "Rakshashi, what brings you here to seek an audience with me?" She remained silent, gripping the fan with all her might, ready to unleash its divine wind at any moment. The hall was deathly quiet. All eyes were on her. She could feel the Vajras glaring with their angry eyes, the Arhats staring with their wrathful gazes, and all the divine figures transforming into fierce visages. She lowered her head. I greet you on behalf of my master." A booming laughter echoed, deafening. Within the laughter, she heard the cries of an infant, the innocent giggles of a child, the roars of an adolescent, and the cycle of blooming and withering flowers, the growth of grass, and the flight of orioles over millennia. She heard the embers extinguishing in the Flaming Mountains. That's interesting. And last but not least, the Bull King, renowned as a mighty king, his life was far from plain. His spirit spanned the 3 realms, his fame touched 4 domains. Among the Guais, a hero grand, wild and untamed. The sudden arrival of Dharma left his homeland forever changed, with Shadow his companion, true enlightenment within him lay. In the days of yore, Bull King converted to Buddhism and within a century completed his practice and returned to the Flaming Mountains. Overjoyed, Rakshashi and Ping Ping loudly celebrated his return and hosted a grand banquet in his honor. During the banquet, the keeper of the Flaming Mountain asked, "My king, why did you return so hastily?" Bull King replied, "An old friend with whom I had some misunderstandings in the past helped me achieve a great merit. The Bodhisattva then pleaded with the Buddha on my behalf, granted me the grace to return. From now on, I will stay in the mountain and go nowhere else." From that day on, the Bull King's temperament changed drastically. His former wild and unrestrained nature was no longer seen. He declined. Wild, unrestrained nature was no longer seen. He declined all invitations, ceased his travels, and instead stayed in Flaming Mountains, helping Rakshashi with household affairs and training the bull soldiers, living a very peaceful life. Several decades later, Red Boy received instructions from the Bodhisattva and returned to Flaming Mountains to serve his parents. The family of 4 enjoyed a period of peace. However, Rakshashi gradually noticed something unusual about the Bull King. He became increasingly thin, his face showing signs of aging, and he ate less, as if weighed down by heavy worries. More strangely, the Bull King became sometimes transformed into his original form, retreating to the mountain peaks, retching. The furry celestial maiden serving Rakshashi said the king might be suffering from a rare bovine illness. The fox maiden serving Ping Ping said the king, aware of his past sins, might have learned an ascetic practice in Mount Lingshan and is now undergoing it. The keeper of Flame Mountain said the king's mind is trapped in the past, intertwines with his old friend, unable to break free. Those past events have become an invisible shackles, and from which he never escaped. Yeah, that's fucked up. He's going through some shit. Alright, next chapter. Final chapter, I think. Boss rush.
We're getting home, son. Not getting all worked up. Oh. That old monkey's going to be at the mountaintop no matter what. We don't have to rush. We've gathered the 5 relics, just as he said. All we need now is the 6th one he has. Curse these wretches. Hey, you see? I knew there was something that old fool hadn't told us. Otherwise, no one up above would bother to ruin this place yet again. Yeah, they're coming for you, no doubt. I can't bear it. I simply can't.
Please. I give you no use.
Iron face mongrels! I despise their wriggles!
Only 35 XP. Kill this person. I hate you. Eagle Soldier, immortals, all shrouded in haze, trials they must pass through, life's winding maze. How many find wisdom, break free from the chains, escaping the cycles of suffering and pain? 3 men died on the same day, and their souls man the underworld. Kneeling before the judge pointed to one soul and said, "In life you were a thief, robbing and injuring others, bullying the innocent. Now I sentence you to the mountain of knives to atone for your sins." The man wailed, "My kins burnt gold and silver paper ingots for me, and they could fill 10 storerooms. If you show mercy, all that wealth is yours." The judge remained unmoved, flicked his sleeve, and had the underworld soldiers take him away. The judge then pointed to the second soul and said, "You shall be reborn as a human." The soul protested, "I diligently practiced Buddhism, did many good deeds, and never harmed any living things. Why must I endure the suffering of reincarnation?" The judge replied, "A human may see 100 springs, but the grass knows only one. Being reborn as a human is already a privilege. Do you wish to be born as a beast?" The soul was displeased and said, "Life as a human is arduous. I practice Buddhism and it should grant me escape." The judge snorted coldly. "Today, Bodhisattva Garba is not here. Whether you escape or not is not up to you." He flicked his sleeve, and the underworld soldiers took him away. Finally, the judge pointed to the last soul and said, "In life you stole mind cores and made pills which harmed lives. Now I sentence you to the pool of blood to cleanse your sins before you can reincarnate." Just as he was about to have the underworld soldiers taken away, a celestial captain in golden armor flashed into the hall, threw a military order on the table, and said, "He has attained profound enlightenment. This is a summons from the celestial court. The admiral has sent me to escort him to become a celestial soldier." Hearing this, the soul was overjoyed and quickly followed the celestial general out. Hound Soldier, bright helm with shining armor paired, golden spear with carvings flare, with the universe's mystic power grand, all is cleansed in the sacred land. The story continues with the soul that escaped the underworld, now ascending to the upper realm. Filled with excitement, he followed the celestial captain through the alleys and corridors, eventually arriving at the armory. The captain said, "These are the Chubai armors, unmatched in the mortal world." He then selected a set and handed it to the soul. They proceeded to the side hall, but instead of entering the main hall, they went to a side chamber where a minor official handed them a contract, instructing the soul to sign it and seal it. The minor official indifferently warned, "By signing this contract, you agree to serve in the celestial court forever, with no chance of reincarnation." The soul, glancing around at the grandeur of the palace and the elegance of the celestial beings, signed and sealed the contract immediately. The celestial captain then led the soul to Tushita Palace. Again, they did not enter the main hall, but turned through a corridor to a massive tower at the back. Thick black smoke billowed from the top, and many soldiers were waiting outside, holding armor, ready to enter. As the soul stepped inside, he felt the scorching heat. Numerous furnaces blazed with fierce flames, and a giant cauldron hung above, melting copper and iron. A doused boy with a fan approached, smiling. "Celestial soldier, heed my plea. Your flesh is gone, your soul must be. Bound to armor, fierce and bold. And battles fought he brave yet hold. For if you falter, heed this call, and your very soul shall perish fall." With that, the boy pushed the soul into a mold, arranging the armor pieces. Still bewildered, the soul saw the giant cauldron tilted above him, pouring boiling molten metal. His piercing screams echoed through the tower. Yeah. The mighty general, like thunderclouds, ascends with lightning to the mortal crowds, and battles fierce. Both sides contend. Life was hard, and hardships transcend. The newly forged soul, having barely accustomed to his armors, yet heard that the Jade Emperor in his fury had dispatched 100,000 celestial soldiers to stand and subdue Yao guys. Fearing that he was not yet skilled with his weapon, the celestial captain gave him an iron bow and instructed him to stay at the rear and shoot arrows. Descending to the mortal realm with the others, he saw banners flying and weapons gleaming. 18 celestial nets covered the mountains, and it seemed all celestial beings, be their constellation officers or admiral, had come to surround the area tight. The battle raged with relentless fury, sand and stones whirling through the air. The sky and earth darkened as dust and debris filled the universe. The newly recruited celestial soldier had barely fought when a powerful force stunned him. When he awoke, he found himself in front of a tower behind the Sushisha Palace corridor. Two Dallas boys were carrying him inside. A Dallas boy greeted him with a smile. Luckily, your armor isn't ruined or you couldn't be healed. As he spoke, the boy pushed him into a mold, arranged the armor pieces, and poured boiling metal over him again. Emerging from the quenching pool, a lightning flash sent him back to the battlefield. Dazed and still in pain, the new soldier stood on the battlefield, unsure of which celestial deity had struck him again with a golden wave, and he found himself once more in front of the Tushisha Palace Tower. After that, he was burned, drowned, and shocked, but each time his armor remained whole. Hence, he was reforged, sent back to the battlefield again. Unbearable, he grabbed a weapon from the ground, finally resolving that he could not suffer alone. Rebelling against the celestial court seemed the only way out. Damn. Captain of the court. Immortal rights beside eternal life, a body forged in steel, free from strife. Though sorrow lingers, pain remains, and cycles of birth truth regains. Continuing from the previous story, the soul had been a celestial soldier for 1,000 years and had risen through the ranks to become a captain of the court. Despite his promotion, he felt lost and uncertain. In life, he had not attained enlightenment, and as a celestial soldier, the highest rank he could achieve was that of a captain. Many former celestial captains, in an attempt to change their fate, had fled to the mortal realm, only to be hunted down and killed, their souls dissipating with no chance of reincarnation. Fuck. This time, upon hearing the upheaval at Mount Huago, the celestial court dispatched celestial soldiers to the mortal realm. Missing one head count, the celestial captains received orders to select a soul from the underworld. He approached the judge and saw three kneeling souls. He chose one who had practiced Taoism and brought him out of the underworld. The soul, seeing the celestial captain's gleaming armor, the cold edge of his blade, and intricately carved shield of solid shield of solid iron was sight. The celestial captain paused and asked something he wasn't supposed to. If you come with me today, you will have no chance for reincarnation. As a deity, the highest rank you can achieve is my position. Are you still willing to go? The soul replied, yes, I am willing. I don't know if there will be any other opportunities in reincarnation. I might go through countless cycles of birth, only to suffer even more. Knowing that, the soul would not change his mind. The celestial captain had to take him to the upper realm. Damn.
May Lord Lao illuminate your... It retains the energy of both this world and beyond. From yin and yang, thou shalt have filled. Each pill is a means to an end. My destiny's course.
Yeah. Alright, this is fucking stupid. I just might as well get it for completion sake, but it's shit's stupid as fuck.
Where there's drink.
think all doubt its highest court is attained.
With no one else around, only a monk. Oh, who's there?
The Bull King, his story was seemed to be the most tragic.
What rags and tatters? No wonder you're at my door.
Hey, beat me every fucking day. You just like ambience. Oh.
Bad luck. It's a dead end. You nasty slanderer! I let you be, and now you have the gall to show up! If you come at me now, this day will be your last!
That was tough.
Fortune's gift it is! It's Wukong's somersault cloud! I was wringing my brain how to fetch you, but this savvy one's already on it! It must have been hidden here amongst the mist until it sensed the relics on you. Thanks to them, it recalled its master and saved your skin. Now that it answers to your call, why not make good use of it? Your mortal body is too heavy for me in my wind form. All these henchmen of the court, what draws them to this mountain? Let's find out!
Since in the aura of the great sage, Summersault Cloud is now willing to heed a call of this one. However, despite its ability for extended travel, it can only be used within the territory of Mount Huago. Okay. Seems like an open world, but no, everything here is like, you know. Yeah, I think this is what it was supposed to be like, yeah. Yeah, that's worked best. Supreme Celestial Inspector, the mighty inspector, the Emperor's guard so grand, rides fiery wheels at the Celestial's gate to stand, upholding justice silent and stern with one steel whip the soul's burn. In the Celestial Court, it was a well-known fact among gods and Buddhas that Celestial Tai Thunderclap Supreme, also known as the Supreme Inspector, was the Jade Emperor's most loyal enforcer. If his gaze is fixed upon someone, it spells certain doom. Admiral Tian Ping, who was cast down to become a pig. Damn, Admiral Tian Ping. Oh, okay, I think Baiji. Yeah, guess served as a prime example. Once a prominent rising star, he vanished out of trade after the Supreme Inspector reported him. Initially, the Supreme Inspector did not, I think talking about Baiji, did not have his current peculiar appearance. Initially, the Supreme Inspector did not have his peculiar appearance, though not as handsome as Tian Ping, he was at least presentable. Later, the Jade Emperor, in appreciation of the inspector's impartial enforcement of his decree, transformed and the inspector's head into the shape of his right hand, symbolizing that when the inspector was present, it is as if the Jade Emperor himself was there. That's fucked up. When deities encountered the inspector, they respectfully agreed to him, and then quickly distance themselves. They dared not engage in any high-spirited discussion in his presence, fearing that any mistake might be caught and reported. Although the inspector had no close companions, he did have some interactions with an old god of very high rank in a celestial core. Aside from the Jade Emperor, some immortals said that since the inspector willingly took on such a significant role, he deserved to endure this solitude. Every advantage came with a disadvantage. Others argue that the inspector had accepted this unappealing position precisely because he preferred not to socialize, finding himself perfectly at ease and content with his role. Opinions were divided and no consensus was reached. As for what the inspector truly thought, no one knew. They cut out his tongue.
it! Idiot! Ugh.